Hello and welcome back to another MC Championship video. With MCC on a short break till the start of 2022, now is a good time to zoom in on the games themselves and discuss the good and bad aspects of each one, as well as ranking all 10 MCC games for Season 2. Before we begin, a little disclaimer that we are only including current mini-games from Season 2 in 2021, although more games could be added to the roster in 2022, and only the games that can be voted on in the Decision Dome, so we won't be including Dodgeball, although admittedly it's the best game without a doubt, at least in our opinion. And I say our opinion because I won't be alone for this video. I'll be joined by Uquf, a Minecraft content creator and an avid MCC fan.
Hey, I'm Uquf. I'll be providing some of my own opinions about each MCC game, and remember, we don't hate any of the games. They're all great, but I personally feel though some are better than others.
Finally, feel free to join the discussion down below in the comments because there's no correct ranking and we want to hear about your opinions too. So in last place we have Grid Runners, the most recent addition to the Decision Dome, and I think that's the reason why it's at the very bottom of this list. It's so new to MCC that I don't think we've seen this game's full potential, and therefore it feels really basic, with not that much going on besides utilizing teamwork in order to finish 8 puzzle rooms and reach the end in the allocated time. I definitely get the escape room kind of vibe with this game, but because it's the latest minigame, I haven't come to terms with the actual enjoyment factor behind playing this game. It's the only game that I skip when I do VOD reviews. However, I definitely see the potential in Grid Runners, and it has one of the best scoring systems out of all the games. We're just waiting on any further integrations into this game to make it even more enjoyable for both the player and the viewer.
Grid Runners is a pretty good game where you just do all these tasks and skills. It's kind of luck based as well. For example, like finding things in the house, you need to have luck for that. It incorporates a lot of Minecraft mechanics such as redstone sometimes.
In 9th place, to get to the other side and whack a fan. This may come as a surprise to many, but I do enjoy this game a lot. However, when compared to the rest of the games, it slides all the way down here in 9th. It's fun to see 40 players racing in a fast-paced battle to reach the finish line across 6 different maps, and the bonus addition of having to punch an NPC at the end is also a really cool touch. The issue for me comes down to the maps. Some are great, for example Terrace Hoop Force Tunnels 1 and 2, but others are certainly lacking, for example the Launcher map, which is incredibly long, with very few players finishing the map, and the rocket collisions with other players is just annoying. I also think that, although frustrating, the punching aspect of this game is very funny to see, particularly in the bridging maps, and without it we would have never got to see Captain Sparkle's swearing in MCC.
To get to the other side and whack a fan, I really like the name. It's very bold and pronounceable. Actually, this is a pretty good game, to be honest. You can PvP, but people don't usually, so you know, I have mixed feelings about this one.
In 8th place we have survival games, another hard choice for me because on the one hand the PvP fights across an open map are exciting to watch, but on the other hand in execution this game doesn't live up to its high standards. This game has one of the most controversial scoring systems in the event, as it massively benefits teams that survive till the very end, as there are huge placement points available for being the last team standing, which could disproportionately give that team a giant advantage at making dodgeball than other teams, particularly as their coin multipliers increase. I'm personally not a fan of the new airdrop coin system introduced in MCC 18, but it is certainly helpful for those teams that aren't the strongest at combat.
Survival games, it's mainly PvP, but there's also coordination and communication involved. Things that I don't like about it is probably the chest loot. They could probably buff it, maybe make it balanced.
In 7th place, Ace Race. It's a great movement based game featuring Elytra and Triton mechanics as well as some aspects from the original foot race game from Season 1. The maps are gorgeous too. For the Season 2 canon events, the Space Race map was introduced and the Python Script map and Clouds map also returned this year. My only major problem with this game is that it depends perhaps too much on skill, and it's the players like Pizza Hut and Illumina who will finish first place because they know the maps inside out and they've studied the layouts through VOD reviews, whereas players who don't have the time to do this may struggle in the event because they would be unfamiliar with said layout. Furthermore, Ace Race can get a bit repetitive since there's 3 laps to complete, and I partially disagree with the scoring system as the new bonuses distribution introduced in MCC 15 favors players who finish towards the very top, which in turn hugely benefits their teams. It is a similar issue to survival games in that sense, but not to as big of an extent as SG.
Ace Race. The perks about this is that it's purely about skill. I would say it's in my top 5 games. However, some of the disadvantages is that a lot of the players might not have the skill. You have to be a more experienced player, so any new participants might not be good at this, whereas people who come regularly will know all the skips and might know the maps a bit better.
In 6th place, perhaps the most controversial MCC game of all time, Build Mart. I really like this game. I enjoyed the very simple concept that underpins this team game. The idea of gathering resources to replicate builds is one of my favorites in my opinion. And the new Season 2 map featuring elytra and jump pads with a more open design is definitely superior to the Season 1 map, which used shopping carts, which would often result in collisions, which no one really enjoyed. It's one of those games that has significantly improved in its Season 2 iteration. However, Build Mart isn't really as exciting as the PvP and movement games, but it does appear to be quite stressful for the participants themselves. Additionally, I feel as though the scoring system needs to add more variety, as the addition of the golden builds is not enough to keep it fresh. Perhaps a Noxcrew could award coins based on how long it took for a team to complete a build from as soon as it appeared on their base, in a similar style to Grid Runners, which measures the time taken to complete an individual room.
Build Mart, again a skill-based game, but I do not say this is in my top 5 because it's more about building rather than PvP, which is what I prefer. The disadvantage is that a lot of people struggle to visualize, to recreate a building. They might not see hidden blocks that might be in the build. It is a lot about communication, which is good.
In 5th place, we have Hole in the Wall. It's a game of jumping through slimy walls. That's the best description I can give about it, but despite its simplicity, it's chaotic and amusing to watch. Sure, it's one of the more controversial games because some players can phase through walls several times in a row, which defeats the point, but on the whole, most of the time it works just fine. The fake walls add that random psych factor and gives the players as well as the viewers a reason to be more alert, which is what allows this game to be so engaging. It requires maximum focus, which in the end pays off with a higher individual finish.
Hole in the Wall, this is my second favorite game because parkour and it's fun and it requires communication because like north, east, south and west.
4th place must go to Sands of Time, which in my opinion is the best PvE and team game in MCC yet. Like Hole in the Wall, it requires the complete attention of all 4 players in the team who have to collect coins and find sand to top up the timer, and this has led to some of the biggest clutches ever seen in the event, but also some tragic moments where entire teams get locked out because the timer runs out of sand, which I understand can be quite upsetting, especially since this is one of the more RNG based games. However, the new details added for Season 2 improve this game so much for me. For example, sacrificing 2 sand for some coins in the main room. On top of all of that, you have one of the most immersive experiences that you could possibly get from MCC and randomly generated room layouts for each event, meaning that there's no need for a new map because it's going to be different every single time. And I think no other game can even come close to replicating that.
Sands of Time, this is probably my least favorite game because it's 100% luck based. You need to have luck in order to find all of these vaults, luck to find the keys. Actually, there is some skill based PvE to get coins, but that's very minimal.
Now as we move into the top 3 MCC games of Season 2 in 2021, I just want to remind you that only a small percentage of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. And thanks to all your crazy support this year, we've achieved our goal of 500 subscribers. But we won't stop there. Let's keep going, so please consider hitting that red button. In 3rd place, we have Parkour Tag. It combines all the aspects needed for a solid MCC game. It's fast and quick paced, it's chaotic, it's intense. From the first second to the final second, it's just a high speed chase for the hunter to catch the runners. And throughout the entire 60-second run, both the player and the viewer know that no one is safe until the timer runs out. This is what keeps us on the edge of our seats, especially since the map is actually not that large, and it really does test the player's parkour and movement ability to either evade the hunter or reach the runners. Furthermore, it has one of the most sound scoring systems in the event. It had to go through a couple of changes at the start of Season 2, but now the way points are awarded is intuitive because not only are you rewarding runners for surviving every 10 seconds, we have also got team bonuses for the number of players that survived the round, and greater rewards for faster hunting. It's a game without any major scoring flaws, but it has 9 rounds which can make it slightly repetitive.
Parkour Tag, that's also a very skill-based game. You need to know about movement, you need to know map, you need to utilize the map well in order to get the people. For example, if you're the hunter, you need to know shortcuts to get the other team.
The runner-up on this list for 2nd place is Battlebox, once again following the trend of chaotic games, but what keeps this game fresh is the maps. They're specifically designed for a certain type of strategy each time, whether it be flanking on the sides or indeed the infamous wall rushing. It's the maps that keep this game high on the list and is one of the most popular MCC games of all time since its introduction in MCC2. The whole concept of battling another team in a small square-shaped arena to then fill in a 3x3 area wall all within 60 seconds makes this one of the least forgettable games in this event, and it's what allows this game to be entertaining and exciting.
Battlebox. This is my personal favorite because it's all about PvP, which is my main skill.
And in 1st place, Sky Battle. That's right, back to back-to-back PvP games for the top 2 spots. Now admittedly, I wasn't a huge fan of this game at its introduction in MCC 9 in Season 1. However, I've had a change of heart because I physically do not see any issues with this game at all. You've got chaos with creepers, TNT and fishing rods, you've got mini side islands with bonus chests, you've got teams that are continuously within close proximity of each other, there's ores to mine to use to make armor and tools, there's so much going on in a single round, but there's actually 3 rounds, so there's 3 times the fun. There have been insane clutch plays, even from teams without a PvP focus, which just proves that you don't have to have the strongest combat team in the event to win Sky Battle. This game is for anyone and everyone, even though a large part of this game is PvP heavy. It's extremely versatile, and that's why Sky Battle is number 1 on this list.
Sky Battle, this is like my third favorite because mainly PvP, and it's like Sky Wars from Hypixel, but 1.16, which is cool. It's also got communication and PvP, which is things I enjoy. The border comes in way too fast. They should give the players a bit more time.
Let us know of your opinions and your own ranking of each of the MCC games for Season 2. We would love to hear what you thought about MCC in 2021, and make sure to check out Uquf as well. His channel link will be in the description. Well, we've been your host. We hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and we'll catch you all in the next MCC video. See ya!